India in a commanding position at the end of day two of the first test match in Nagpur. Australia looked out of ideas. India lead by 144 runs. A special Rohit Sharma turn followed by yet another day of dominance from Ravindra Jadeja, and the resilience has now helped India take a massive lead of 144. Dinesh Karthik joins us on Cricbuzz Chatter after a long day of commentary. I'm sure it was an absorbing day of test cricket as well. DK, what did you make of day two?
And hopefully day three, Jadeja also. That will make things very easy for India. But have to say it's been a terrific test match for Jadeja personally. And the captain, Rohit Sharma, leading from the front with the bat, when others, especially all the batters around him, kind of got out to innocuous balls sometimes a touch of bad luck as well. But he just stuck through the whole thing and batted beautifully. So it's been a terrific day for India. And even the fact that Akshar batted so well will give them a lot of confidence. I think it was a day that thoroughly belonged to India. And just one person from Australia, Todd Murphy, I thought he bowled really well, picking up the wickets that he did. But overall, I think India very much in the driver's seat.
Well, India did seem to be in a bit of trouble once again. Rohit Sharma getting out early in that session, and then it was up to Ravindra Jadeja. What a sensational knock! Five for yesterday, and then a half century today. Is there anything Sir Jadeja cannot do?
I don't know actually. He helped his wife a little bit in helping her become the counselor of the area as well. So I don't know. Maybe we have to announce him for president next. He'll be ready for that as well. There's not a foot that he's put wrong, and whatever he's touched is turned to gold, and rightfully so, because I think he's had a hard last 5 months. I think the injury in the Asia Cup really upset him. He was looking forward to the T20 World Cup, and he's lost time. He's lost a World Cup. So I think he's bringing all of that energy, he's channeled it into what is required to play the sport, and it's so good to see him so well. And arguably one of the better all-rounders going around the world, contributing with the ball when it matters. And when it comes to batting, he's one of the most improved batsmen since 2018. His average is upwards of 45, which is something most batsmen would be envious of. And it's just a joy to just watch him operate the way he does. Very confident, very calm in his demeanor, and very sure about what he needs to do in what situation, either batting or bowling. And that is a man of supreme confidence that we're talking about.
But truth be told, DK, the platform was set by Rohit Sharma. He led from the front, stamped his authority, and pretty much single-handedly, at least at the start of the innings, he was the difference between the two sides until lunch today. He seemed to be batting on a different pitch.
Absolutely. I think when it came to batting and the top seven batters who batted, he was a standout right from the first ball. You know, the way he dominated at the start and just put pressure on the opponent captain when he bowled. And after that, taking on the spinners, he showed his intent straight up when he came in, stepping out to lie on, playing some of the shots, that straight drive that he played last evening. Just today as well, calm, just continuing the same form, very sure of what he wants to do as a batsman. And I think in the conversations that I've had with him, I remember him telling in England, he said it doesn't matter if he played 1,000 balls, but he was happy to leave as many as possible, and he was focusing only on leaving the ball. And I think in India, definitely it is the other way around, where he wants to defend as many balls as possible to spinners, which is a big challenge. And it is so good to watch him bat. The first Indian captain to score 100 in all three formats. The records seem to be getting better every time he's doing it. And just watching him bat completely in control of whatever is happening. The ball is turning, the odd ball keeping low, but he never made you feel like there was so much happening in the wicket with his body language, with just the way he approached batting. And that is always sending you a strong message as to he's very confident of what he wants to do. Even the ball that he got out was a really good one. I think when he looks back at it, he has to kind of cut him some slack, saying that, literally swung from the stump. A high quality bowler in Pat Cummins comes and does that, and that's fair. But till then, you could see he was a man on a mission, wanted to take India to a very safe place, and in many ways did that brilliantly till today when he batted till tea.
Yes, he held his innings together, and when Rohit Sharma scores runs, Twitter is usually a buzz. And we've got a question from one of our viewers with hashtag Cricbuzz Chatter. He says Rohit Sharma has always been touted as a great white ball opener, but he's also been a good test batsman. For someone who scored 264 in an ODI and averaged 69.43 as a test opener in India, is it time to recognize him as a great all-format batter? DK?
That's a great question, by the way, and I can see it's coming from a fan of Rohit Sharma, like a lot of us in India. And you have to admit, somewhere we haven't celebrated Rohit Sharma, the test batter, enough. I think he's done phenomenally well over a period of time. And just like what we have spoken about over a period of time, he is not only a white ball format player, he's somebody who's really up the skills in test cricket in the recent past. And, opening in England, doing well there, and in trying conditions. We speak about his knock against England in England, but against England in India, the 100 that he got in Chennai on a ranked turner. Brilliant knock. I think, generically speaking, he has to be put in some one of the all-time greats as a batter across formats, and as an opener, definitely. So there haven't been many in the world.
Now, Rohit's impact in white ball cricket is so much that that seems to sort of build a narrative around him on how he is a white ball superstar. But Rohit, the test batter that he is, and I'm sure you know that aspect of him closely. Have you ever had a chat with him on his test match cricket ambitions as a batsman?
Oh, most definitely. This time in the World Cup, I remember we went out for dinner once and we were just chatting generally. And then I asked him, like, what did you think, where he's turned around his test career in many ways, especially after opening the innings? And he said somewhere down the line, he cared for it a lot. He put a lot of pressure on himself because he wanted to show everybody else how good he can be at the start in his test career, because he had done well in white ball cricket up till then. And I think from whatever he could say, I could figure out that that put a lot of pressure on him. But the moment he came back, he was a very satisfied white ball player. He said that he's going to give test cricket another crack, but on his terms.
Now, fans would have looked at Rohit's innings and they would have seen the dismissals of the other. None of India's top six, apart from Rohit, managed to even get a 25. What happened there? Was it just a simple case of execution? I know Pujara got out playing a shot that he usually doesn't. Virat Kohli down the leg side as well. But was it purely application in favor of Rohit, or was it something else that he did?
I think when you look back at the dismissals, I think Ashwin applied himself, batted really well till he got out. But we're talking about the other frontline batters. So let's start with the Pujara. I must admit it was a shot that is a shot that he generally doesn't play. But if you observe closely, he was looking to step out. And then when somebody bowls down the leg side, the immediate reaction is to just go for the sweep because it's outside the leg stump. So it was a reaction. And I completely agree where that is coming from. I think he had a positive intent. Even though he didn't step out, he was looking to step out. So that tells me he's looking to get on top of the bowler. And those kind of dismissals shouldn't perturb Pujara much. I think he is somebody who wouldn't let this dismissal affect him. Moving on to Virat Kohli, we all know that was one unlucky dismissal. I know you can talk a lot about it, and you got to feel bad for him because those are some of the dismissals that you hate as a batter, but you can't move away from. So overall, we can generalize and say the top order didn't click and the batters didn't probably do as well. But this is what happens in a turning track as well. Not everybody is going to have a good day. You are going to get one or two that doesn't go your way, but it's important the one who bat well needs to cash in, and that's what happened today.
Question coming up on Virat Kohli. It's time to put Dinesh Karthik in the hot spot. Now, DK, for a batsman who is an absolute bomb across formats, he is the number one on the planet. It's proven really on a million occasions. His recent record in the subcontinent, especially against spin, is not that great. Where is Virat Kohli going wrong technically, or is it in the mind?
I think we got to understand international cricket as a whole. When you come in as a young player, as a domestic player, I think you generally tend to play spin a lot better because you grow up on those wickets which or probably aid spin. You play a lot more spinners, and the fact that the medium pacers at the domestic level aren't that quick. But once you make that switch and you move on, you take that step forward and you get into international cricket, as a batter, you consciously start focusing on playing fast bowling a lot more. So that is one of the reasons that you can see most of the domestic cricketers who come into Indian Test cricket team initially are great players of spin, but later on probably it diminishes a bit because they use a lot of their energy and their focus is a lot on playing medium paces. And I'm pretty sure that is the case with Virat Kohli as well. If you look back in time, I'm sure he's a better player of fast bowling than what he was when he started out. Maybe his game to spin has dropped a bit, but that is fine. That's something that is relatively understandable because you don't play as many spinners when you travel abroad, or you don't play so much of good spinners that probably you would end up playing in domestic cricket for longer hours, even if you play in the subcontinent. So that is understandable. And we can debate about the fact that probably he's not been great against spin in the recent past, but he's still a damn good player when it comes to spin bowling, especially finger spin bowling. But the stats do say that he's gotten out to spin, which means that he needs to work on his defense, which is something that you've observed. The two shots that you see, he's practiced a lot in the recent past from the videos that's available in social media. Is the sweep and the reverse sweep. So he's as even though he's achieved greatness as a batsman, he's still trying to improve his range of shots, which always shows a player who's willing to learn no matter what stage of his career will only get better, and that will be the same with Virat Kohli as well.
Yes, Virat Kohli was one of the five scalps for debutant Todd Murphy. His father reckons he's a lot like Shane Warne in terms of his grit and his determination and the will to keep fighting. Todd Murphy, a fiver on Test debut wickets of Kohli, Pujara, KL Rahul in his kitty. He must be elated. What a debut it is!
I think he's a great story because just the fact that we have actually spoken a lot about the Australian selection panel about not picking Travis Head, and that's probably gone as a negative to this point. But on the other hand, we must give them credit also for picking Todd Murphy ahead of a Swepson and an Ashton Agar because they chose to go in that direction. They looked at matchups and believed that India haven't played off spin well, and they trusted Todd Murphy to do a job. And boy, has he delivered! He bowled really well, and I think he will grow into a very good bowler, but somebody in Australian conditions who needs to work on probably finding breakthroughs like a Nathan Lyon does. But for the moment, in subcontinent conditions where it aids spin, he will definitely be a very good bowler. And his family coming and watching and him getting a 5 for run debut is a great story. His favorite wicket being Virat Kohli, and who wouldn't want Virat Kohli's wicket?
Yes, Todd Murphy, a rare positive for Australia on what was a long, hard day. They had to really toil hard for wickets. But the big question today is, from an Aussie perspective, is what did Lyon do wrong? Why was he looking so out of touch?
I believe that Lyon obviously hasn't had his best day. He's obviously over a period of time shown the world what he can do in Australian conditions. Subcontinent is a place where he's still figuring out his tricks and traits. He will get better as the series goes on. But for the moment, you have to admit he didn't probably bowl at his best. And that's one of the reasons why India is still batting now.
As Nathan Lyon does have his work cut out in this four-match test series. At the end of day two, India are leading by 144 runs. What's in store on day three? Let's find out from DK in Fast Forward. Now, some might think 144 is a safe score, a test match pretty much in the bag for India. But what's the score that you are looking at from an Indian perspective?
Well, for a start, I don't think there's any total that's going to be safe for the host, considering I have a feeling India will finish about 180 plus lead, and they have a great chance to bowl out Australia under that score itself because there's quite a bit of rough there for the left-handers, and that's going to trouble a lot of the left-handers. An Australian team is filled with left-handers, barring a couple in the middle order. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they match up, but it does look like a game which is highly placed in favor of India, and I wouldn't be surprised if the game finishes tomorrow itself.
Right, always a pleasure talking to and listening to Dinesh Karthik on Cricbuzz Chatter. Him and I will be back at Stumps on day 3 right here on Cricbuzz. But here's what you guys need to do. Tonight, sign up for Cricbuzz Plus because that's where you can watch this brand new Cricbuzz original. It's called Rise of New India, and it's a story of the new era in Indian fast bowling. Do catch it, enjoy it. Dinesh and I will be back on Cricbuzz Chatter at Stumps on day 3. Do join us then.